Here we go. All right, everybody, welcome to Virtual Bourbon. My name is Steve Akley. We've got a fun event tonight. We have two export-only bourbons. So these are things that if you've tried them before, you've gotten lucky. You've somehow acquired them. They are tough to get, though the Evan Williams is available through the Evan Williams Experience in downtown Louisville, so you can buy a bottle there. And then the other one is strictly a Japanese export only. So they're both available in Japan, but like I said, the Evan Williams is available at Louisville if you go to that Evan Williams Experience. My name is Steve Akley. I own a company called the ABV Network. Normally, I don't do a big introduction or anything like that, but because we do have some new people joining us here, I do like to tell you just a little bit about my company and about myself. So I have a bourbon media company, and we do podcasts. We've got a couple of feature-length documentary movies out. We do blogs. We've got our own email magazine. So a lot of different stuff. Check us out at abvnetwork.com if you haven't done that before. So ABV, like alcohol by volume. So that is who we are. And we also do live events. And that's what led us to doing these recorded Zoom sessions and things like that. Initially, we weren't into doing online virtual like most people. But over the last year, things have changed in our world. And those live events, we weren't able to do training and things like that. We do classes at Total Wine or at distilleries. We weren't able to do those, so we had to evolve a little bit. So we started doing these virtual tastings, and they've gone very well. It's worked out to help build up our audience too. So people who come in and might find us because of a tasting, then start listening to our podcasts and stuff like that. And I'd encourage you to check out two of our podcasts. We've got about 15 altogether. Again, kind of a large company at doing this, all bourbon focused. But two you want to check out are The Bourbon Show. And on that show, it's a little bit more serious. We do interviews. We do two big interviews a month with people like Fred Noe and Julian Van Winkle, and pretty much everybody in the bourbon industry has come on the Bourbon Show. We've interviewed them. And then we do 4 pint-sized shows where we talk about a single topic. And then the other one that we do is called the Bourbon Daily. So it's just a fun look at the world of bourbon, a few laughs and stuff like that. Usually about a half hour. It comes out every day, as you can imagine by the name, the Bourbon Daily. And it's worth listening to as well. So it's a fun look at that. So that's just a little bit about me and who we are. And let's get started on the tasting. I encourage you to go ahead and pour. We're going to try the Wild Turkey 13 first. So we won't get to it just yet. Let's pour and just let it set a little bit in the glass. And as we talk just a little bit about this product. So again, this is a Japanese export. My daughter, who likes to do a little world travel, she finally graduated college, a year ago, and in 2019. Late, she went to Japan, which she was excited about. We only traveled domestically, so she's been to all 50 states. Actually, had done that by the time she was in high school. Now that she's an adult, she really wants to do world travel, and the pandemic's messed with her a little bit too. So she went on 2 big trips last year, where she picked me up some bourbon at both of those. She went to Japan and then to Australia. So right at the beginning of 2020 for the Australia trip, and then she's been shut down ever since. She's just been angry about this, that she can't go. She's got a lot of places she wants to go to, but she picked me up this. So it's the Wild Turkey 13. It looks like this, comes in a box, and then inside it is like this. So this is the actual bottle that we are going to be drinking tonight. This product comes in at 91 proof, which, if you are a huge Wild Turkey fan, and I noticed that some of the the person I looked at right away when I did this was Rare Bird 101. If you know Rare Bird 101, he does a blog and website dedicated to just Wild Turkey. And I wanted to get his insight on what he thought of that. And of course, he did have a couple articles about these. And he's not a huge fan, only because Wild Turkey, you so associate that 101 proof, and the fact that this comes in under that, it leads to not a lot of excitement and enthusiasm from folks like him that are just all Wild Turkey focused. They want it to be 101 proof, and the product it did replace was 101. So it was Wild Turkey 101 12 year, which used to be what they would export, and that was discontinued in 2012. And then they came out with a 13-year-old 91 proof. So that's the product that it replaced, and that became their export that is largely in Japan. I heard that you can get it in Europe and some places too. My understanding, they went with the 13 years because 13 is a lucky number. in Japan. So it's like our, I don't know if you want to say there's a lucky number in the US, probably 7 would be it. But in Japan, apparently 13 is considered very lucky. So they decided, Eddie and Jimmy Russell and the marketing team there, I'm sure, decided to go with a 13-year-old product. The marketing on this, of course, it says that it's at the lower proof because it's stored at the lower ricks of the warehouse. So it comes in at a lower proof, and they just keep it at that lower proof. You know, I don't know if that's probably just marketing stuff, but it's probably 90 for a reason. So probably, but that's the official reason that's on the box, is that it's stored at a lower proof. Has anyone tried this before? The Wild Turkey 13. Show of hands for anybody who's. Is anyone? Oh, McNew has. Okay.
Yeah, it was at one of the bourbon nights last year.
Oh, okay.
You brought it.
I brought it. So yes. So McNew is trying. Yes, because I had a couple bottles. My daughter bought me a couple bottles. So yes, I did bring that to a bourbon night apparently that McNew was at. So maybe Justine's tried it too if she was there, but doesn't remember. It happens. We drink a lot of bourbon, so it could be something you forget. So with that, let's go ahead and pull that glass over with just a little background about the brand itself. And we like to talk on the nose first. Anytime we're doing a tasting, that's the first sensory area that we get to. What are you getting on the nose there? Pretty good on the nose, I'll say that. There's some layers there. Fred, we're going to start with you, man. What do you? Because he's good at this. Known for his palate.
Got a mild nose, not real mild, but pleasant.
Mm-hmm. Pleasant. Mm-hmm.
Kind of citrusy.
Citrusy, yeah. Citrus. That's certainly in there. What else? What else is anybody getting on the nose they want to talk about on this one? I mean, I get banana. Okay.
Yeah, Steve, I'm getting pineapple.
Pineapple. Okay. Yeah. I'm getting those fruit tones for sure. So
getting a little oak.
Oak. Okay. That makes sense. A 13-year-old, you would think you're going to get some oak there, right?
Getting some floral.
Some floral. Okay. I mean, I do get some caramel on there, which would be a classic bourbon note, but I get some of that there. All right, Guadalupe, what do you think on the nose on this one? Soft on the nose. McNeil, how about you? You're getting ready to lead our Try It series. She's going to be taking over that. So this is the last one. This is the end of her internship. And then McNeil will be doing our Try It series, which this is part of. So try something different. So McNeil will be leading that. She's part of our team at the ABV Network, is a co-host on the Bourbon Daily and several other shows as well. So she does one called Wine Time that she does herself.
We just complain.
They drink wine and complain about things. Yeah. So if that's what you're into, she's got that available.
It's a good time. This one, I agree. I get some like pineapple, bananas, also like some dark cherries too.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of fruit notes coming in on this one for sure. Shane, what about you, man?
I get like orange peel, honey, maybe some maple, just really, really sweet. Those citrus flavors.
Okay. I'm going to ask one more. Sherwin, I'm going to ask you, and then we'll start talking about taste. We'll move to taste and go from there.
Yeah, I could say that it's has some floral notes to it. I can also sort of smell the level of alcohol in it as well on the top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, let's give this one a taste and see what we got here, and then we'll talk about the tasting notes you get as well as the finish on this. So. Comes in, I don't know, it's pretty good. It comes in sweet up front for sure. and you're getting some of those, as we talked on the nose, a lot of different fruit notes, and it ran the gamut there. I get a lot of that. So anything specific anyone's getting on the taste?
Spicy on the tip of the nose right away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's kind of peppery for me.
Kind of peppery.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It does. Definitely you feel that the rye that's in there via that giving you that pepper. I think too, it kind of that peppery comes across your entire palate.
Yeah.
So it's a it's a viscous bourbon. It's got a
Yeah.
good mouthfeel, which that kind of coats the mouth and that leads to that that pepper that you get across the entire tongue. Then the viscosity of it, which is interesting. Always a good thing. And I feel like 91 proof, it does warm up pretty nicely. I mean, it's got a nice finish to it. Let's hear from the Robinsons what they're thinking on the taste on this one.
I was thinking the same thing. It's really, it hits me, it's sweet, and then the pepper hits, and it's got a good balance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's chewy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely got something there for sure. Justine, I know you're not at 100% here, but I'll ask you, tasting wise. Yeah, I know you haven't felt real great, but I see you are trying it there. So what are your thoughts?
I'm trying it. Yeah, I get the sweet kind of like fruit. It's almost got like a something sugary to it, like a dried fruit, or like the like the dehydrated fruit that's like in trail mix or whatever.
Yeah.
Like kind of sugary, and the pepper definitely finishes with pepper.
Definitely, yeah. Michael?
Long-lasting finish also.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I thought the finish goes for a while, so
Mhm.
that's impressive. All right, Michael, how about you, man?
I excuse me, I got a lot of sweetness on this one.
Mhm.
A lot of almost toffee notes in there, and I thought it interesting. I can't remember who said it, but the pineapple, and I was trying to figure out what that smell was, and that was exactly what I was getting. So that was interesting. I've never gotten that out of a bourbon before, but this is delicious.
Yeah, I agree. This is good for sure. I like this.
Yeah, the sweetness just stays right up. It's right with you the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is what you're looking for in a bourbon. At least what I'm looking for. I like the sweetness of bourbon. I am not a fan of Scotch or some of the other whiskeys that tend to be smoky, peaty, those type of things. I like the sweetness of bourbon. So, Scott, how about you, man?
I'll tell you one thing.
Okay.
At the 91, it's mild. You get the pepper, especially on the back end. Like I said, the sweetness. I
Mhm.
taste banana. I didn't smell the banana when we were doing the nose, but once I tasted it and was chewing on it, that banana taste came out. And I kind of got a little of that orange peel. And it's a nice lasting. It's a pleasant finish. It's not one of those that you're going to cleanse your palate right away. You just kind of want to enjoy and let that linger.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And 13 year, you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes they can be over oaked at 13 year. This has got the right amount. And sometimes when it has too much oak in there, it can almost feel like it's drying the mouth. It's you don't get that at all. So this is nicely balanced, I would say. Let's talk to Matt O'Driscoll. We got to make sure we're talking to all of our O'Driscolls here.
Oh yeah, I was the one that said it had a peppery taste.
Peppery taste. Okay, I forgot. Sorry. I'm doing the best I can.
That's okay.
All right. Mark, how about you, man?
Being an Irishman, I like to have a hot toddy here and there. You can't
Uh-huh.
have toddy without cloves. And I could pick up both the scent and the taste of the clove. That was
Cloves. Okay. Yeah. So that's what's good about these group tastings is when we do these things, someone throws out something different like that. And it's like, that's what I've been searching for. So they put it into words for you. So that certainly can help out. All right, last one. Well, I guess two more. So two more. I'll check in with the legend here. We will come back to this whenever we do our tastings. We always like to do them. In this case, we got two, so we'll do two, and then we'll go back and go because sometimes it does evolve a little bit. So we like to check back in. So save some of your sample there. We will go through twice. So, Mr. Brenner, what are your thoughts on this one?
I get some I get some orange peel, little banana, and a lot of pepper on the finish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. All right. Finally, Mr. Whitlatch.
This is interesting. You get that sweet classic bourbon right up front, and then all of a sudden there's just a burst of pepper, and just gradually fades out. It's got a nice long finish.
Mm-hmm. It does. Yeah. Yeah. This is for me. It reminds me of we do some barrel picks for some distilleries. We were doing one for Neely one time, Neely Family Distillery in Sparta, and it had a blast of pepper in it, kind of like this one. We called it pepper box, that old pirate gun. We liked that idea because those guns were known for the big blast, and we felt like the blast of pepper was good. And this was kind of a pepper box type of situation. So. Yeah.
Yeah, I have that one from Nelly, and for how young it is, it's advanced.
Yeah. That's the interesting thing about on the craft world. There's so many different things that they can do. Whether you're talking about a sweet mash like they do at Neely, or the enzymes if they're not using that, or the yeast that they're using, or the barrels. Going with an air seasoned barrel versus kiln dried. It really, there's a lot of things that they can do to make a difference. And I don't know if you can point to just one of those, but when you start doing multiple things like that, you can really make some good younger whiskey, which is interesting for sure. All right, let's set that one aside for right now. We will come back to it. Let's pour our other one that we've got for tonight, the Evan Williams 12-year-old. Then we'll let that sit for just a minute here as I talk a little bit about this particular offering. This one comes in the famous red label, aged 12 years, 101 proof. So the proof that we were looking on for Wild Turkey, we found it in the Evan Williams. So again, this is available as a Japanese export. Apparently, it's been that way for a long time. I didn't realize how long they've been doing this. So Evan Williams itself was introduced in 1957. This one, and famously, the number that you'll see on some of those is 1783, and that's supposedly when Evan Williams came to Louisville. I don't think there's any record of him distilling right away, but that's when they put that number on the bottle. But I did see one of these Japanese export ones with 200 right here where it says Evan Williams. So 200 would mean that was from 1983. So this has been around a long time. Now, they didn't always sell it in the US. So that actually happened in 2014. So that's when they decided to start carrying it in the gift shop at the Evan Williams Experience in downtown Louisville. But before that, it was strictly an export only brand. That's just a little bit about it. Evan Williams, if you're not familiar with him, he was a distiller. He's given credit as owning the first licensed distillery in Bourbon County in Louisville. He did have a distillery, but I don't think it was as early as they give him credit for. Mike Veach, I was looking up a little bit about what he said about this guy, and he said he has a distillery license in 1799. That's what they have on record, and it's probably more likely that's when the distillery was open, not going back to the 1780s or anything like that. So there's always a little bit of, and that's part of the fun of bourbon because the records aren't like they are today. There's always a little bit of story and fable to these things. So, but that's like that. Apparently, Evan Williams' place though was pretty good. I guess he was running 3 stills, pretty large operation for the time that he was in. So, and he was a known businessman. He was part of the political scene and was the wharf master. So he was the one that collected the levies of boats going through and stuff like that. So pretty interesting guy for sure. So let's pick this one up. Let's talk a little bit about this. Again, a 12-year-old product, 101 proof. Talk a little bit on the nose on this one.
not much of a nose until you stick your nose into the glass, and then you get a lot of pepper.
A lot of pepper. Okay. Yeah.
I'm picking up heavy brown sugar notes.
Heavy
Yeah.
brown sugar notes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm thinking that's what I'm picking up because at first I was thinking kind of honey, but I believe it does lean more toward brown sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of burnt brown sugar.
Burnt brown sugar. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking caramel at first, but brown sugar hits it better.
Yeah, I was gonna say a charred sugar.
Yeah, like you get on the top of a creme brulee, that type of thing. There is some fruity notes in this one too, though.
Juicy fruit.
On those. Yeah, juicy fruit. Yeah. We keep coming up with that. I don't know. It's definitely, and again, that's a little bit dated. I don't know if some of the younger folks know juicy fruit, as we talked about last night on the event. But yeah, it's definitely, juicy fruit was a very fruit forward chewing gum, and yeah, it kind of hits on that. Well, let's give it a taste and see what we think. Cheers, gang. Okay. Definitely getting, the brown sugar on the taste for me. So what we were just talking about, that's there on the taste. What's that?
Very viscous and creamy. Very.
Very viscous and creamy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Again,
A little baked apple.
little baked apple. Okay. Yeah.
Sugar cookie.
Sugar cookie. Eric, what are you thinking on the taste?
Yeah, much sweeter. The turkey was the classic bourbon, but this is sweet, sugary. I like the proof better.
Mm-hmm.
A little hotter.
Yeah, definitely comes in a little bit warmer. Also has a nice finish to it, I'd say. I mean, this finish goes on too. So it's good at 101.
I'm not sure what the mash bill is, but I'm picking up a lot more corn on this one than the wild turkey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I think they're like 75% corn on Heaven Hill in this. So I think that's where we're at. Rob, what are you getting on the taste on this one?
Well, there's definitely less rye in it than there was in the wild turkey.
Mm-hmm.
This tastes a little bit more sophisticated. It's a little more subtle than the wild turkey was.
Okay. Yeah. Rob Wycheck, is that?
Yep. That's close enough.
Wysek?
Wycheck. It's going to be always mispronounced. But I was
Okay. What would you say if I said, Rob, what's your last name?
I'll say Wysek.
Wysek. Okay. Well, I'd say that's probably right then. That's probably, I would guess you got it right. I don't know.
Unless you're Polish, then I'd say Wiącek. But
Wiącek. Okay.
But I was getting vanilla frosting on the nose, and in taste, it's a little bit more caramel.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just sweet, like none of the rye bite that we got in the wild turkey.
I agree. So yeah, definitely lower on that for sure.
A balance too, like the wild turkey was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. These are interesting because you always feel like if it's good, we want it back here. Let's I don't know all the reasons why they decide. If it's just a matter of they don't have enough stock, or they want something special for export markets. I'm not sure. It's always interesting when you see these specialties because you want access to them too. At least I do as a bourbon fan. Danny, you are our wild turkey super fan. I don't know if any, I don't know everyone on this, but I know you're a super fan. So what are your thoughts on this versus the Evan Williams versus wild turkey here?
Well, you're putting me on the spot. So,
well, yeah.
I mean, although I am a wild turkey fan, and I kind of got the musty taste, like kind of out of our dusties that we've done in the past. You know, that kind of shows up in the wild turkey.
Gotcha.
But as far as taste and mouthfeel and everything, I hate to say it, but I think Evan Williams got a beat this time.
Danny, that has to hurt your soul. Yeah.
Yes, it does. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to have a bottle of this wild turkey sitting in with my collection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. All right, Matt, what are your thoughts on the taste on this one? Matt O'Driscoll.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's the brown sugar. I'm getting it's high in the corn. A lot of oak on the finish. Like the longer it sits in my mouth without taking a drink, I'm picking up more of the oak notes.
Yeah, I'll tell you on the finish for this one, for me, it kind of sits. It you know, sometimes you feel like warmth all the way down. You feel warmth, you know, in your throat. I feel the warmth kind of mid palate, mid forward, and it just keeps going. It just keeps kind of heating up and going on this one. So it's got a great, nice fit, but never overpowering, which is good. You don't want it where it's just hot. But yeah, I'd say finish is good on this one. Mark O'Driscoll, what do you think?
I like it. I think it's a little bit sweeter than the wild turkey that we tried before.
Okay.
But all the notes that everyone's called out, it's sweet, it's cream, it's caramel, it's burnt sugar. It's good. It's surprising with a 101 proof that the finish, the palate doesn't sting like you were saying before.
Yeah.
Across the board, I like it. It's really good.
Really good. Solid. Okay. That's a good review. Sherwin, what are your thoughts on this one?
You know, it's interesting. I like it, and I think it does have that sort of sweetness and full-bodiedness to it that that I think people have been pointing to before. It's not as warm, surprisingly, as I found the wild turkey. I ended up sort of, if I was comparing the two, thinking that the wild turkey was smoother. I felt like the heat sort of came on in a more subtle way and sort of lingered a bit more. Yeah, there's some of the notes are really kind of hard for me to distinguish in terms of the sweetness, which I definitely appreciate the sweetness, but I end up thinking that the wild turkey was a more balanced, offered a more balanced kind of tasting experience than this one did.
Yeah. And we'll go back through after we taste them a second time, we'll have everyone vote and we'll see what was the favorite of the evening, just for fun. There's no prize to the winner or anything. They will get excited, but yeah. Mr. Bill, on the taste on the Evan Williams, what are your thoughts?
Well, pretty much like several people have said, viscous and creamy and getting some pepper. I like it. I'll be looking for it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I assume, like I said, I had this for a while, but I know they still have it. I don't know if it's regularly there or special offerings, but it's been there, you know, the times that I've gone to visit. I just haven't been there in a while. So, Shane, how about you, man?
Yeah, so I get those, you know, vanilla, corn, kind of nutty, and then like you were saying, that mid palate, it's like that oak just sits there for that finish.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. Eric, how about you, man? On this Evan Williams, what do you think about this one?
Like I was saying, I think it runs a little hotter than the turkey, which I do appreciate the higher proof, but the sweetness is a lot for me. very tasty, but I prefer more of the classic bourbon oak and caramel over the sugar sweet, I think.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's put this one aside again for just a little bit here. We will come back to it and we'll see what a little bit extra time with the air exposure does to it. So let's go back. I'm going to take a drink of water here and then we'll go back to our first one and talk about that one more time. So this is our 13-year-old wild turkey coming in at 91 proof. Anything different on the nosing notes? It does nose a little bit stronger, I think.
Steve, I'm really starting to pick up on the cherries now.
Cherries, yeah. Yeah, that you say that, Danny. Kind of like a baked cherry pie too, because I'm getting some of the, the baked goods type of thing. So when you combine those two together, kind of cherry pie-ish. Yeah. Kind of vanilla cream too in there.
Yes.
I don't know that those are notes we talked about the first time we did this, but again, it just shows you how it evolves a little bit. Fred, any evolution for you on the nose? Any?
I'm sorry, Steve. I drank it all before. I didn't leave any behind.
Okay. Okay. Sometimes it's fun just to nose that glass though. That's, you ever do that? You ever drink a bourbon and then you just leave the empty glass, you don't put it in the sink or anything. And it's just sitting there and you pick it up and you nose it. And you're like, man, that's even better than when I was drinking it.
Yeah, there's still a corner in this glass. So,
yeah.
I'm not picking up the banana as much as I was the first time.
Yeah. It's weird how that stuff will change a little bit.
Yeah, somebody said floral notes the first time around, and I get that now.
Getting it now? Okay.
I get some herbal notes now.
Little herbal notes. Okay. Yeah, that's different too. Yeah. Rob Wiesek. How'd I do?
It's good enough.
Okay.
I'm getting banana walnut bread.
Banana walnut. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Melanie said fruitcake, but I think the banana walnut hits it better.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's try this one again and see on another taste if that's changed. Definitely some evolution on the nose there, I'd say. Yeah. Kind of that, creamsicle a little bit. I mean, I'm getting a vanilla cream for sure. And you just put in a little citrus in there as well. So what else on the taste?
Butterscotch.
Butterscotch. Okay. Yeah, that's a classic taste. Yeah, some of those from the 60s, you get those old granddads or old Taylors. They're just butterscotch bombs. So, yeah. Mr. Legend, what about you? Are you on mute? I think you're on mute, Rick.
Yeah, I probably am.
Okay, you're off.
I don't know what changed from the first time.
Yeah.
But quite enjoyable though.
Yeah. Mr. Whitlatch, as you've tasted this a couple times now, have your thoughts changed at all on this one?
People have mentioned citrus flavors a couple times. I'm tasting a little bit of that tangerine I peeled at breakfast.
Okay.
The peel aspect of it, though, it's a little bitier than the sweet juice. It's edgy.
It's edgy. Okay. Yeah, that's a cool descriptor for sure. All right, Michael Driscoll. Second time through with this one. What do you think, man?
Yeah, Steve. So I might be the odd guy in the group, but I wrote down brine and orange pith.
Brine and orange peel. Okay. Yeah. Mr. Whitlatch there, Bob was saying, tangerine peel. So I don't know. The brine. That's an interesting one. You don't hear that a lot in these descriptions, but that's good. Guadalupe, what do you think on the taste going through this one a second time? Has it evolved for you at all, or is it like, that's how it stayed the same?
I'm in the Fred camp and also drank it all on the first time. So, and right now I'm really sorry that I did from what I was saying.
Well, that's okay. Yeah, that just means you liked it. So nothing wrong with that. So yeah, that's good. All right, Mark O'Driscoll.
The finish for me changed a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like I felt like the first time we tasted it, it just went on and on and on. And now you get that pepper, but it kind of dissipates, and I get like leather or something. I don't know if it's from.
That's a good point, Shane. And I didn't think of that, but yeah, the finish is way shorter the second time around, because it did. I was amazed how long it went on the first time for a 91 proof. The finish seemed to go on for an incredibly long time, but it's not that way anymore now. Now it's kind of short on the finish. Yeah. What about for you, Mark O'Driscoll?
So the first time around, someone mentioned pepper, and I couldn't pick up on it on my own, but once someone mentioned it, I agreed with them. The second time around, that was one of the first things I noticed was there's a good, strong pepper taste to it, both on the nose and on the taste.
On the taste, okay. All right. I've joined the club. It's gone. So let's move on to the next one. All right, our Evan Williams 12-year-old 101 proof. Let's catch this one on the nose. Okay. There's definitely a change. I'm getting kind of like cake frosting, like a butter frosting and banana. I mean, that's definitely
got marshmallow.
Different. Marshmallow, okay. Marshmallow's good.
Meringue, maybe.
Getting more of that burnt brown sugar.
Burnt brown sugar, okay. Yeah, it just shows you what an extra, 5 minutes will do.
I'm picking up something like a s'mores.
S'mores, okay. Okay. Well, I like we've had several with marshmallows, and I'm sticking to I'm catching some bananas. So I'm going to say like circus peanut, which is kind of a banana marshmallowy. I don't know exactly what it is. It's definitely its own thing, but that's kind of getting some of that on here.
Yeah, I get the banana, but it's more of like the artificial candy banana.
Yeah, like the circus peanut is definitely not real banana. It's
right.
They did a lab somewhere. Yeah, I get that too.
Well, Steve, when you said a while ago that sometimes somebody will mention something that describes what you're trying to think of, and that's exactly it.
Mm-hmm.
The circus peanut.
Yeah, that's what's really helpful. I mean, I think if I owned a distillery, I would always have a panel like this when we're working on the tasting notes, because it's amazing how often that is. Someone will just come up with that thing that's like, wait a minute, yeah, that is it. So, yep. Sherwin, coming through on the second time on this one. I know that you like the other one better, the turkey, but you've gone back to that one. Now you're coming back to this. What are your thoughts here? Second time.
It seems like it's smoother now
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the texture and the way that the taste sort of sits on your palate. It's and not as much heat this time around. In the sort of first instance, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like the time has been kind to this one. So on the taste, catching a little peanut butter in there too. So I didn't taste that on the first time through, but so that's interesting. Michael, What about you coming back to this one, tasting it for a second time? Any difference to you?
Well, what's interesting is hearing all the tasting notes, and I'm getting that on the Evan Williams, but it's almost overwhelming with the sweetness, and it's almost cloying to me. Whereas the wild turkey has got more of that sharp, that classic turkey taste to it. Yeah, I think if I had to choose between the two of them, I think the turkey is where I would go because of it's a more complex drink to me. Whereas this one just seems to be, it gets kind of washed out with the sweetness to me.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, granted, full disclosure, I had surgery last week and been on a liquid diet, so I may be feeling the alcohol more.
That could be. That could be.
This is the first drink I've had in a week, so I'm
Okay.
pretty excited about it all.
Yeah. Yeah. Scott Stevens, what are your thoughts coming back to this one?
Oh, coming back to this, yeah, the sweetness kind of stands out a little bit, and I didn't taste peanut butter. It did kind of have more of a nutty flavor to it. The mouthfeel didn't change on this one as much. I think on the wild turkey, it seemed like it coated and it was a little bit thicker that second time around, whereas this is pretty consistent. I got more of the corn notes this time, but I didn't taste a whole lot more different. Not much of a finish on it either, as opposed to the wild turkey.
Yeah. Yeah. I still get the pepper spice, which is the rye coming through on the tongue, kind of mid palate type of thing. But yeah, it seems that the time shortened the finish on both of them for sure. So I definitely noticed that.
I get some pepper too, and the corn. And I think it's kind of like if for some reason you sprinkled sugar and pepper on cornbread at the same time, which would be weird, but it turned out well.
That's yeah. Well, that helps with the description though. So yeah. Sometimes you come up with those unique ones as you're describing this type of thing. Mr. Bill, what are your thoughts?
I don't like it as well now as I liked it at first. But what everybody else has said is, I mean, pretty much spot on. The sugar and pepper on cornbread sounds pretty good too. I mean, not that I would want to do that, but it sounds like a pretty good.
But as a descriptor, yeah, she's kind of put into words the flavors profiles that she's getting.
And
so
the finish just is really diminished. It's not lasting as long.
Yeah. So now it is time to vote. I will be calling on you guys in the order you are on my screen. That can differ from yours. It seems like it should be static. Everyone's screen's the same. It's not. I'm just going to follow this because it makes it easy. And just want to vote for Turkey or Evan Williams. Mr. Legend, you're first on my screen. Did he go? He just fell off. I think he got scared. Okay. All right. The Legend will probably come back. He seems to have internet problems. So again, a lot of us know each other from doing these a lot. He does a lot of them. And he lives by me. So I know the Legend pretty well, but I would guess he'll be back. So we'll come back to him. Scott, you're next on my view.
I would definitely not pass up either bottle, and I'm going to have to find someone to head to Japan or mule me one back. But and I don't know if maybe it's because it's more readily accessible or I'd had it before. I'm going to go with the Evan 12.
Okay.
I tend to prefer sweeter bourbons. I have a respect for kind of pepper and rye and things like that, but I would go with the Evan 12.
Evan 12. Okay. All right. Next up is Michael Driscoll. What are you thinking?
Steve, this was a tough choice. They were both
I think they're both good. Yeah, they're both really good.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I've never been an Evan Williams fan, but I think that Evan Williams wins the night.
Evan Williams. Okay. All right. Fred, known for his palate. This will be good. This could be big for either one of these brands. Fred endorsement. I'm not sure Buffalo Trace would like it if they put on their website, Fred endorsement. But yes, what did you like better out of these two? And again, not saying one's bad, one's good. They can both be good, but you got to pick a winner. Oh, you're on mute, Fred.
There we go.
There you go.
They are both good, but I prefer the high rye. So I like the Wild Turkey better.
Wild Turkey. Okay.
I prefer that high rye a little bit.
Turkey's on the board.
I like the sweetness, but the Evan was a little bit too sweet.
Okay. Fair enough. Mr. Whitlatch, what about you?
Turkey. It's a little more complex and more challenging than the Evan Williams.
Okay. All right. We'll go to the Robinsons. We'll start with Melanie.
Evan Williams.
Evan Williams. Okay. All right. Neil.
I like them both, but I would drink the Evan Williams.
Okay. I'm glad that there's harmony. Glad there's harmony in the household there. I didn't want you to say the other one and then fight breaks. We've had to deal with fights on these before between couples. Not you guys though, thankfully. So, but yes. Famous hot mic. We had a couple getting into it one time on these. We've had a lot of crazy stuff happen on it. We do enough of these that we've seen about everything. But yeah, that was the best. Rob Bean, obviously, we'll skip you because I know you're dealing with COVID. You didn't get to try these. You'll get to try them down the road, and you'll get to go into it knowing what the winner is and see if. But let me know.
I'm gonna go Bourbon County Stout Moan Cherry.
That's last year's, right?
That is.
Yeah. I like Bourbon County Stout. I'm a big fan. Shane Leonard, you're next.
I'm gonna go with Wild Turkey.
Wild Turkey. Okay. All right. Next up is Rob Weissek.
Evan Williams easily.
Evan Williams easily. Okay. All right. Mr. Bill.
Wild Turkey.
Wild Turkey. Okay. Justine Mays. You're on mute.
Yeah, I know. I was working on it. They're both really good, but I like my rye, so I'm going to go with Wild Turkey.
Wild Turkey. All right. Mark O'Driscoll.
I like either one of them, Steve. I'd be happy to add them both to my collection. But I also like a little bit of a sweet drink at the end of the night to compensate for dessert. So I'm going to go with the Evan Williams.
Evan Williams. Okay. You know what is great as we go through this? We still got a couple more rows on the screen here. What I like about it is they both are getting votes and it's really close. And it says that we picked two good ones for tonight. So I'm glad. Sometimes these don't go great. I'll be honest. We've had ones where it's like, this one's not good. So these both are good. So I'm glad they're both getting votes. McNew.
They were both really good and both drinkable, but I think I like the Evan Williams better.
Evan Williams. Okay. This is not surprising. McNew, famously known for her love of wheaters and a little bit sweeter side. So it makes sense she'd go for the Evan Williams here. Turkey's a little bit spicier. All right, Guadalupe, what do you think?
Definitely turkey.
Turkey. Okay. All right. Danny, initially you professed your love for Evan Williams, but we went through a second time and that can change your vote. So what do you come in at? Turkey or Evan Williams?
Well, I will have to say after the second time, I've got to flip back toward turkey.
All right. He came around.
Yes.
Okay. Got to be happy about that. All right. Michael, how about you?
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking the turkey is better. Love the complexity of it.
Okay. All right. Eric?
Yeah.
He had to drop off. Oh,
so
sorry.
I'm back now. I agree with people. They're both excellent whiskeys that I wish we could get widely available here in the States.
Yeah.
A little extra age on what might be Wild Turkey's entry level stuff was delicious, and I vote for the turkey.
Turkey. Yeah. Gosh, I would love to try this turkey at 101 proof. Gosh, that'd be perfection, I think. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. The 91, man, if they could come in at their normal 101, that'd be something special. But that's not what we tried. We have to vote on what we tried tonight. Mr. Brenner, the legend, you're next.
I'm going to go with the Evan Williams.
Evan Williams. Okay.
I like the fact that it's sweet.
It's sweet. Okay.
It'd be good bourbon to have with a dessert,
Yeah. Yep. I agree. It's definitely. All right, Sherwin, you're next.
I'm definitely going to have to vote for the turkey. I tend to prefer the sweeter bourbons, but I think the turkey was just a more, just a more complex taste. Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is getting interesting. Michael. Michael, you with us? You're on mute if you're talking. Can help.
I already voted for.
You already voted. Okay, sorry. Sometimes the screens do change around.
There's another Michael.
No. Sorry about that. The screens do rotate, and that's where you're at. You're second to last in my thing now. But okay. All right. Matt O'Driscoll, last vote.
Yeah. So if somebody asked like quintessential bourbon flavor, I think Evan wins. But and I would probably cook with it, but I'm going to go with wild turkey for
wild turkey.
Vote.
Okay. All right. So here's where we're at, folks. We had 8 for Evan Williams and 11 for wild turkey. How about that? Wild turkey, after falling behind early on, did come back and win this thing. So wild turkey is the pick of the night. But again, very close. And I think that good indication that we've got two good ones here. Same thing. Either one of these would work for me. And I feel like they're both sippers, which is always good when you're talking about bourbon. You get to some of these and it's like, well, that might work in a cocktail, but it's not anything I'm going to drink alone. I would drink either of these neat. And so that's a good thing. So very cool. Well, we went through a process and we came out with what is the best out of the two and both really good. And if you're doing any international travel, you get the opportunity, pick these up. So, yeah. So I'll definitely have my daughter when she can start traveling again, be on the lookout for that stuff. I'm not really much of an international. I don't like flying a lot, so I'm not really into that. But if she starts doing it again, I'll have her get me some more of these type of things. Very cool. With that, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recorder and the session, but I will stick around. If you want to talk about the bourbon business, you want to talk about the ABV Network, which is my company, anything, you want to know about some of the people of bourbon, anything about that, I hang out with a lot of the folks. So we certainly can stick around and do that. So with that, we'll say goodbye to our audience. I thank you guys for being part of this, and we will now just hang out if you want to stick around for a little bit.
Thanks, Steve.
Absolutely. Thank you.